Martin Vickers.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. Like other honourable friends, I rise to give qualified support to the government. Qualified in as much as we all have reservations about one or two of the decisions that have been taken, but overall we recognise the enormous challenge that the last 6 months has presented. And for those who are instinctively libertarian and freedom-loving, such as my right honourable friend, the Prime Minister and his colleagues, they have been very difficult decisions to restrict the freedoms of the British people. The government has acted, I think, on the whole, rationally and proportionately in its decision-making. And clearly the public have recognised this, Madam Deputy Speaker. Only a few days ago, the YouGov poll showed that 78% of the British public supported the most recent restrictions. And I think it's fair to say that in a constituency like mine, which has been fortunate with a very low infection rate, you can probably add another 5% to those figures without any doubt. But if we are to move forward, we've got to retain the goodwill of our citizens. And in order to do that, we've got to be honest and straightforward with them. And that, to some extent, may involve admitting the occasional error in the past. And we've also got to take them forward by bringing them into the debate. I think we need to explain our policies, and when announcements are made, we need to give reasons. Leaving an open, if we don't, we leave an open goal for our critics. Of course, there will always be anomalies in the various guidance that is provided, because guidance cannot cover every individual circumstance. But I do think that when we're talking about restricting people's freedoms, we do need to bring them on side. The availability of tests, of course, has been a great challenge, and I would urge ministers that we ensure that no one enters a care home unless they have been tested and cleared. And the other particularly vulnerable group that I've had dealings with in my constituency are those who are live with clinically vulnerable people. They have had to make additional sacrifices, perhaps not going out as much, not enjoying even the limited leisure activities that are available at the moment. And I think we need, as I say, to give additional support to them. Now, my Cleethorpes constituency, of course, is in part a tourist destination, and I think it's particularly important that we recognise that another lockdown would mean that some businesses go under. And we've got to recognise that if, by government decree, we prevent someone from carrying out their normal business, which is perfectly legal and successful, if we're going to prevent that, we do need to take action to support them. And that applies, I think, in particular to the self-employed and the freelancers that we've heard about during the debate, who have fallen through the net in recent debates. Can I also turn to sporting activities? A couple of weeks ago, I met the chairman and the majority shareholder in Grimsby Town, which is my local football team. Their home ground is in Cleethorpes, and they're a League Two team. They're very much part of the local community. They're involved, for example, in delivering the National Citizen Service. But they need £500,000 to survive this season. But they're realistic. They recognise they're a financially sound club, but they recognise that it should not be the taxpayer that supports that. We have to look at the football sector to realise, just look at the transfer that have gone on in recent weeks, and there is adequate resources available within football to support the lower league teams. And I would urge the government, if they're not prepared if the Premier League are not prepared to take action, and I know negotiations are taking place, that the government actually force them to take action. With some reservations, I support the government's approach up to now, and I say to my colleagues that though this may be a time to give the government a nudge in the right direction, it is not a time to defeat them. We need to hear from the government a strategy for the coming months, not definite dates. We cannot give definite dates. It's no good saying on January 1st we'll do this, on March the 1st this will happen. But we can lay the foundations and put markers in place that when we get to this point, we can release some of the restrictions that we're placing on our citizens. Thank you, Madam.